Hello everybody, my name is Gerardo Priore and I am the designer of the Strange Forgeries of Mr. S.C.Rheber, my upcoming game. They will launch on the 4th of September 2023 in Gamefound, so don't forget to save the date with the buttons above. Today what I'm going to do is like a talk through of the component of the game. The components that you will see, they are prototypes, components. Whether like in the final copy they will differ significantly, I will mention, and I will mention also. So keep in mind that you're seeing like a prototype copy. Let's start with the first. So the Strange Forgeries of Mr. S.C.Rheber is a game where one player is called the gallerist, invents a secret rule at the beginning of the game. That can be anything that comes in their mind. This secret rule is basically determine whether any drawings can be original if it respects the secret rule, or fake if it doesn't. And the other players are, up to 6 other players, are called collectors, and they need to interrogate the gallerist by making drawings, trying to figure it out what is the secret rule. So, how the secret rule looks like? Well, secret rule is anything, any property that a handmade drawing can have. In this case, let's imagine that the secret rule is about the drawings needs to contain only triangles. In this component, that's where the gallerist is going to annotate the secret rule. In this part, he writes it. Okay, here I literally wrote the drawings only contains triangles. The part in the center is where the gallerist has the opportunity to provide for up to 6 drawings that conform to the rule. In my case, I only used 1. And up to 6 drawings that do not conform to the rule. In this case, my rule is about the fact that it needs only to contain triangles, so a single square is false, is fake. 2 triangles with a circle, they also contain a circle, so it's false that they only contain triangles. And lastly, an incomplete triangles, which I decide to define as a not a triangle. And then there is a third part. This is where the gallerist is marking the mistakes of the player, and we are going to talk about mistakes and guessing later in this video. This component is of course completely suitable for dry erase. You know, like they need to invent this rule of the game, and as you can see, whatever you are going to write here can be then deleted afterwards. Passing to the next component. As I said, the gallerist invents a secret rule, and up to 6 other players, they need to figure it out. And the way they will do it is by making a little sketch, passing it to the gallerist that is going to secretly decide whether they are fake or original, and then pass them back to the author of the drawing. So that's the next component, a block of paper. In the final version of the game, they will be still colored in the 6 colors of the players, and they will come out 200 colored paper per color. This component will be quite small, 5 by 5, so something like this. And compared to the thickness of the marker, this doesn't allow a lot of details. And this is designed on purpose, because we don't want the rule to be so complicated that the player would have get lost into too many little tiny details. On the back, it's nearly invisible, but you see a little X done with a pencil. This is how the gallerist is going to communicate with the collector's author of this drawing. In this case, you wrote an X because this is actually a fake, doesn't respect its rule. It can also be original with a little circle. Collectors are drawing during the course of 6 drawing rounds. During each drawing round, they can draw as much as they want until the gallerist says stop. The drawings round are kept on track in the turn tracker board with the turn tracker token. That is basically moving from 1 to 6 along this line. However, there is another function of this component. As I said, collectors can draw as much as they want until the gallerist says stop. This stop signal is when the gallerist completed his only 1 drawing that can do each and every drawing round, for a total of 6 drawings during the entire course of a game. Now we can choose at the end of each drawing round to reveal, as a hint, the solution of the drawing he made. So he's going to place it here, and if he wants to reveal the solution, he just place it here in case this is an original, or here in case this is a fake. In more advanced version of the game, this space will also be needed to mark all the ambiguous drawings that collectors have made during the game. Ambiguity is something that is required to be handled only in more advanced rule. After 6 drawing rounds, the collector will have made really a lot of drawings. And then it's time for guessing. How it's going to work is that every player knows only the solution of the drawings that he made, but doesn't know the solution of the drawings that the other player has made. Guessing is about guessing the solution of the drawings that you don't know. So every collector is going to slot all the drawing, up to 20 actually, that they have made during the course of the game in the museum folder, which is exactly this plastic component that you will see. It will be a bit different in the production copy, but you will always have the possibility to slot up to 20 drawings. What is good about that is that these can be passed around in the table, observed, and when the time comes, the solution can be revealed by flipping it. Every collector will need to guess each drawing that is slotted inside the museum folders of every other player. This can be a lot of answers to be given. And to do this, they will need a very special component called the collector board, one of my favorite. This came out of a playtest, it's an idea of the player. Collector boards looks like that, they're like a little booklet. There is a part on the outside that is purely cosmetic, representing the characters and their museum, you know, the green player, the yellow player, pink player. There are 6 in total. Players will interact, however, with the part that is printed inside. Now, as you can see, I have already assembled the collector board to the transparent guessing sheet. This sheet is used to report the answers. I'm the pink players, for instance, and I need to answer, I need to guess the drawings of the blue player. So I am going to look for the blue museum here. By the way, you see every museum has 2 grids. The bottom grid is only used in the advanced version of the game, so I'm only focusing on the one above. And this grid is a 4x5, exactly this grid. And I'm going to report my answer in this part. Here it is. That's how it will look like. So as you can see, I mark all of them. Now, in the moment that the solutions are revealed, what was answered here on the part here on my right will be moved on the left, and that's the same things that we need to do with our guessing sheet. We take it and we flip it like the page of a booklet, and of course we can bind it. In this way, we can exactly control whether each of our answers was correct or not by comparing it with the one that the galleries reported during the drawing rounds. If something is wrong, we can just blacken it. Every blackened cell is a mistake. The player that makes the least mistake is the winner. So these 2 components are what makes the game a bit special in terms of hardware, okay? Allows each player to properly organize a large amount of guesses referring to a large amount of drawings. The game can be played in 3 variants. What I hinted during the course of this game is mainly the basic variant, where if you make the least mistake as possible to guess your opponent's drawings, you are the winner. In intermediate and advanced variant, the other 2, something changed. The gallerist enters as a player, as a competitive player in the game. This means that if before was just a game master, in intermediate and advanced, he becomes an active player. He can score points, and therefore he can win or lose, based on how clever was his secret rule. For these two variants, there is the addition of a board as a component, and of course several tokens. The board is a board with number, very simple, from 0 to 33. In this prototype, at the moment, there is like an illustration on the back. Probably in the final copy, there will be an alternative board. The tokens are, of course, one for each of the collectors, you know, green, blue, red. There is one per collector color, so 6 in total. And since the gallerist is also participating in the game and its scores needs to be tracked, there is also a marker for the gallerist. As you can imagine, in intermediate and advanced variants, a player that is literally inventing a rule of the game and is concealing from the other player can score points. So we needed to invent a mechanism that limits its power. This is achieved with different metrics that change during the game. One is tracked with the forger token, one is tracked with the auction token, and one is tracked with the scam token. With this free little component with the little token, and the forger board is possible to play both in intermediate and advanced variant. Lastly, I want to dedicate a few words about the rulebook. So today I don't have the binded copy of the rulebook. This is just a printout that I've done with like a copy machine. However, as you probably imagine, the game itself is not super complicated. The basic variant can be explained in 7 to 10 minutes. I think it's like just a couple of pages, like 3-4 pages. However, the rulebook that you will receive contains 40 pages. It's a hefty rulebook of 40 pages. Because not only contain the basic variants, the rule for basic variants, also the rules for other two games, intermediate variants and advanced variants. That each of them is fundamentally a more complex version than the one before, with some rule added for additional complexity, especially for, let's say, adding a more competitive part to the game for players that they like more canny logic games and are much less into the arbitrarity of a party game that maybe the basic variant can lean towards. But not only. In this booklet there is, for each of the variants, a how to play session. So basically something that you read aloud. I can actually show you. You can read aloud to your players, so you don't have to worry about explaining them. It looks exactly like this. The host of the game night is basically reading the gray part, the part in the brown boxes. And then later there are all the instructions for him or her to set up the game. And at the end, there is the example session. The example session, I'm taking out a page for demonstration, looks exactly like that. This is aimed for when you don't have any clue on how to start the game, what secret rule you may invent, what is too difficult, what is too easy. You don't have to think about it. You just go to this example session and you will find a very detailed set of these ideas. They basically comprise here the 6 original drawings and the 6 fake drawings that you are going to copy in the gallery's board. You are so this is much more relevant for the intermediate and advanced version, but there is some difficulty setting that you can tune your game. There are here some hints that you can basically follow while moderating the game. Of course, there is a secret rule. In this case, I put it like upside down, so you don't spoil the surprise. You try maybe yourself to guess what is the rule that conforms the first 6 on the left and doesn't conform to the other 6 on the right. And then of course I said that during the game the galleries can give out hints that are drawing hints. They can also give out like verbal hints, of course. No one blocks them to speak. And that's basically what this section is about. They go from the easiest and more obvious to grasp hint to the more difficult. Probably one wants to start with a higher difficulty level and go on this side. So these are basically the 3 main components of these FT rulebooks. So 3 games in 1. Each of them they have a learn to play session that you just go in autopilot and read it out loud to your players, and an example session. In case you don't even have an idea on what secret rule to invent, we propose some example and we guide you on, let's say, a heuristic to use while you are moderating your first sessions. Later, in case you want to invent one yourself, there is like a component often disregarded during playtest, because I guess this is like a more advanced tool for people that are more into riddles and inventing riddles. This is like a hefty pack of cards. Each of those cards is a riddle invented by Bongard, which is a computer scientist of the Soviet Union that in the 70s published a book about Bongard problems. That's how they're called. Those are basically pattern recognition problems like the one you see right now. These 6 drawings comply to a secret rule, but these other 6, they do not. And here in this deck of cards, you will find all of them. I didn't disclose the current prototype. The solution of each of them is not disclosed. I'm thinking maybe of printing it on the back, or let's say to respect the folks in the internet, most probably just leave it unknown for you to discover. They are a great tool, a great inspiring tool for creating very intriguing and clever rules when you will start a new game of the Strange Forgeries. There are like nearly 100 of them, so this ensure like endless replay rate. And that's it. This is basically what I wanted to talk about, and have fun and see you for the launch for September 2023. And again, remember to save the date. Ciao!